Okay, class, welcome to week 6. Now, week 6 is going to be a little bit different than weeks 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. First of all, the discussion section, no more answering 6 questions, right? What are we doing this week in the discussion section? Something totally different. I'm going to ask you to upload 3 items, right, into the discussion forum. They are going to be your executive summary. I'm hoping you've had a chance to go back and edit it and make any slight changes or tweaks you want to make to the original one you uploaded before you upload this new version. Your objectives and milestones, and your methods and evaluation criteria that you just did in these past couple weeks. I want you to upload all of those, or at least a draft of your methods and evaluation. I know the final version is not going to be due till Sunday. But get a draft of that up by Thursday. And what I'm going to ask you to do is run through other members' materials, their executive summaries, their objectives and milestones, and their methods and evaluation criteria, and give them a score from 1 to 10. I am putting you all into groups, or rather the computer is putting you all into groups. So you should each be in a group with 5 members. So I'm going to ask you to take the other 4 members and just evaluate their 3 items. Give them a 1 to 10 rank. Give them some constructive feedback. I'm hoping you get constructive feedback from 4 different people on top of me. And I'm hoping that this is to get this in the best shape we can before you turn in your final product next week. Now, Sunday, what you're going to have do is that feedback on the 4 different students, right? The 1 to 10 feedback and constructive feedback on their work, and your project method and evaluation up to 3 pages sheet. Now, how does this project method and evaluation go? It flows from the objectives and milestones. So it's very, very simple. Think about who you're going to assign to each task. Think about having the knowledge, skills, and abilities to assign people to each task. If you will not have the skills yourself or in your organization to do this type of work, talk about how you will hire someone. If you don't know how to evaluate grants well, you don't think your organization has people on staff that are great at grant evaluation, it is fine to say, I am going to hire an outside grant evaluator, and we'll either have a competition, we'll put out our own bid, or, you know what, I've actually been working with one already, or I have one in mind. Here's the organization. We're going to have the American Academy for the Advancement of Science overlook our research. They want $19,000 to come down and do the evaluation. That's fine. You can outsource. You can say, we don't have the knowledge, skills, and abilities to really do proper grant accounting and financing in my small nonprofit, but what we are going to do is hire this firm that's an expert in it, or hire this CPA. And that's going to cost us some money, and we're going to have that in mind, but we are going to assign that task to some personnel that are outside of our organization. We're going to farm that one out. We're going to hire it out. All right? So don't get too confused by this. You can either assign tasks to people who work within your organization, yourself, or other people you can imagine who work there, or you're going to assign them to other departments, outside departments within your organization, or you're going to assign them to just people you hire, contractors, consultants. You're allowed to do that. So get that in mind, but make sure that every task you need to complete in order to hit every one of your milestones is listed, is complete, has a method for how it's going to get complete, and has personnel attached to that method that are going to make it go within a time frame. This is how a project turns from some sort of la-di-da, pie-in-the-sky idea into something much more concrete and something achievable. So I really want you to make sure you do that. The second thing I want you to make sure you do is come up with evaluation criteria. Not every grant makes you do this. Some of them have their own. But some grants say, you know what, we're so broad-based, you tell us how you want to be evaluated. You define what success means for you. It should be measurable again. There should be units you can attach to it. So you're going to have to come up with that this week too. If you are successful, what changes? How do you measure that change? How do you measure success? Be sure you tell us in these 3 pages. Make it convincing. Please provide constructive and quality feedback to your peers. I want everyone to have the best grant proposal they possibly can have by the end of next week. So I will see you next week for the last week, week 7. Until then, have a great week 6.